Dé chaine ha go dúne fall a Coll Chuil Uairich.
Well, the brown and continue to hear the hawk that is out today. Can I get that here? Still, I get the hand close, leave it and I hook it on the table. How good and that you know, try. Thought you the race is it. Son of soon as I pay that. Feel like I'm so it. Svag Kubu van agus svag gan ye ten beke an omun an no trof ganti agus hatje trof ganen muy es muy agus no tegen mis biro as mosun as so vikins an a step forward in the park a horse is at an réidir sydd fiach yn rhaid at yn y tac y liad tac y Chuil Uairich. Chuil Uairich yn mis habast y rhain at yn pleida. Bydd rhain tiach un ys gen cynnyn mynd ffwn bar i'w. A cael mynd erfyd yn a teodd mae cofn nysgad. O fad yn sag yn lan glys i fas yn fod yn hyf. Bydd rhain elwysio a bydd cael am fawr y sy'n un o fan. Ba cynnw chorys yn cofyddiach a ni fydd am bydd un o fawn. Cael un o môr chorys yn fawr y fawr. Am blynn hat tan ik at farm skoin goed alem hat power dat verlocht ab visitors in your face to see het has me squiap te comie en we have a lot of visitors oh hat het dacht nog wat hij min petito's daar home voor de leiders dus ik moet gewoon een beetje pakken te vrouwen.
Dé chaine ha go na bh galafad a seo Chuil Uairich na rein at a réid. Dé chaine ha go sin?
Well, tór cynnig tór in, dyna stag yn mis yn fod yn da. Bydd fwyd yn ma par ond yna. Gynnydd, tór gan y dyn mi'n afro reid y gyd yn ys y hwyr yn lawti sy'n awn. Pan yn am yn ystod, mae tór sy'n hopio am y cyd. Agus hwyr tór gan dyn sy'n a. A charis mo protein ni gan y barreid i chi nachti oedd lawch dawn.
Si sy'n eich o boch gas o'r wad y ffyrwch?
O, rawn. Nach o mi dyn ti wyth o'r wad y ffyrwch. At yn sôl sy'n da cwr ban hyrus. Hyd yn sy'n dweud. Sy'n ban yn dweud i dda.
Agus, road cwna doch gan yw'n gwrs gan y ffris on?
O, fi at y glas yn coelio. Charis mynd achro gwallt yn mwy am y mwy nhw'n eid yn ystod. A charis mynd yn pys on.
Fi ni clywed gwrwthag yn achgar agus na bagach yn achgar yr ymhach gydag.
O, fi at y sort o'n go fawn na ni ti'n o'r. O, ham y cyrsi gen i. Tîr o gan i ti'n o'r.
Rwad y ffadoch yn gwrw rwyd y fad y gianw cast gyda'r.
O, wel, nach rwad yn mich i eis yn after tebli o'r mhwrs o chocwch.
A chan ei sy'n fad y bris y gylwch?
O, chan i lysa. Coelio o'n i sata, ti fedd ata. A hefyd.
Nes i, fan un ac o pen, do, fi gasgrifych ffeini ar y litri hyn nach bydd.
O, fwy lle sgrifych ydw'n i. a hen stungo bolochi. Siame heisi gaun kom ianeisi.
Kuhitti me skrivit na lichtrikets komma igen i bigat.
O tebis na hams brone, ha kali sakumsa kemea.
Wel cynnau di heti bel gynnwyd nach dwyad fermwg an nhw'n eidyn, dwmwl agos dwmwl bwrochi. Dwyad grymau fermwg an nhw'n eidyn, dwmwl man ro, wel cynnau da sydd se hapas ti hwys ni.
Hanne kei hams brone. Sarum mustu hoin tiresti jam. Emotional.
Kemur y bat yn y ffalwch yn y ddwon i het, so chai at y cholwr o, so hwyr at dach i yn ŵr.
O, na, gle holit. Hyd at setwn bwylwch i agos geina sy'n yn dent iafa sy'n gein i yn hosafa.
Kemur y hwyr at sy'n y tehent galw?
Wel, chas na ffordd wrth i sy'n y bedd Dibys ta oi ar y holit yn bwrw ein hag. Agos hyrwyd yn sti agos dwi'n hawasta agos cwniwch tôm yn sa.
Stŵl bwrochi.
Hyrwyd
Agos,
after hyrwyd yn mynd yn fod yn hag.
Dwmwl bwrochi.
Se agos se ta hyrwyd yn so na che
Se,
agos yn ysbryd bach.
na se.
Agos hyrwyd yn sy'n dwi'n hawasta i se bo hacad ag ac yn un hyd. Sa'n awn ag ac yn ba mac ma tig sa'n awn ag ysd. Na mis baba siach ag ac yn ych gongs. Ba mo'n iawn sy'n sioch ag. Ag sy'n toch boen sa'n awn ag ysd yn gael.
Wel cain ac yn ysyd ffegin yn tach gyhyn, chalwch hunter.
O ha, cynnig a. Cynnig a ac yn mynd trafod sydd i ddyn. Sydd y...
Deis o'r styn i fanta.
A dyn ni tedd o'n ddew. Dyn nhw ala so. Gom niwn sgol o ffwbl cat. Ach, pe ffordd o'n wrthnog. O, carwad o'n i ti gata dda. Mwyswn dda, gli, gas. Ach, pe ffordd o'n gli, nog gyda na dyn. Dys yn doi hannoch boen i neu Mwyswn sest.
Stym yn y bat yn y ffalwch gyn mae un chalwch o fe cawl yn tach.
Wel, dyn mae pa'n tropus yn bwyd fa, pa'n yn cleg ywys.
Ach yn yw'n hwyr yn y loch dyn sy'n tehyn ach gyhyn, cymryd y bat sy'n y ffalwch i.
O, chan cyd cwyd ach reis yn gwrdd cwm. Chan cyd ach reis o fwyd o'ch yn cart o'n ei ach. Ieisyn a toli twain yn ach un. Bad ffeim o'ch ydach un, bad toli styfain.
Ni tabl ma haf yn cholwr o.
Wel la, dy sy'n dde. Chabad, se pas sy'n at yn mynd i beth sy'n y fan holl hir. A fa blwn sy'n se dyd ochr. Pas dy fan, trwy'n ochr o art o hwy yn y fan. Ac sy'n, mas dyd at da tawr ac y chwys plawt. Dim yn hart o'n ddynus. Dyd o'ch ac mwyn cael letri. Coel.
Ba'r rwyd gen y reis ma'n y Wild West, y chwlt yn y steak i'w mach a chwyd chyd.
Chwys o dyd o'ch gyd ac yn byg y bat y blawt sy'n bwys yn hart y bat y chwys. A sy'n mas dy leid i gael, sy'n mas dyd a fa.
Bat yn y tolit yn oes yn y hwyr at yn te.
O na, cli holi. Cli holi.
Fóli, ísú bagan mé, dé nachta sin a hesveke.
Nachta sori me huf, Sean nachta na rúku mus. Skapan an éva sin. Mas teach sin chawar. Mas ron réitsa. Agus Mosun je féme tú hik sin. Mas an tablion station ruta Castra tablion station sauna van réit sauna is wal sauna van réita. I was genu tak Chuil Uairich. Ar mosin nos nach tablion is hanel keina ke hanel kale keina ke ach rut buk na ga na sho. Gir och neva men na neian. A keina ke me ferishing hanagat boyan. Holt ein ma yen. Magnels sho.
Agus dé chaine hagad a réiste ar nachta seo. Cóbhaun.
Chair keina ke se achtir och echter in nach. Chair keina ke go person te me inige. Ka lawach moet ga in zo. Wel va ma in han ik nuas an hone de fosat ar ik ja wachteske. Scharo kala da han go koder me henala. Hey bouter broch en gult. Agus Sean hij as ro. Pies gan hij. Sean hij as ro at an proch kan so. Agus Sinna moet hagen gan goed ding ga so geworden gesut. Wat torach as an area was so as polodroge man. Vergejagt man dat we hen heen waar mooi han mooi gula cool kroeg kan mooi zijn gaan niet genacht zo nee na hins. Den ra gi schelle. Maar hoor van het dag nach gestegen sind so raad so no van hun wat is shows rom me hena wat is me hena de furo. Schon de was me hena. De fos mahals me va en ik het er show Fais kolar am va ka ju han ik va da vaske agus sho nach de snuruk mus agus man ava mi krager om ech na me nei en was in gewor
Dé chaine hagad a dal chawar na ha.
Gajer keina kem we den lies so gewor gitter as een artige was so as nech mer a ga keina kem moet pak naga a stege in ruin so gewor so schöne routen man ava mi fiken no Upper Coll anas fiken tegen woorde kjawe chemisch ala moet nach rol de route shows als je na show fuet graag de monach pohak Hatjanaga go gat de ja son te kerk
Kur is na kolorach kolorach in ocean.
Wel va kolorach va giroch man va a gamen hakke na va chalo hunter aan a gewaan van ik tegen een hak gaan en hij kan hier zo staan is hij had doel Cairn Chuil Uairich doel Cairn Chuil Uairich Sheva se vian an shins va eirish raad va hij maas va kjaunders raad agus va hij in spiu shune ferle doel borog gaan het ja doel shana doel agus in spiu van hij akkerist het toe halt hij wil borog agus va hij wil halaste man jakje vol zo'n halaste gaan ik es va Upper Coll va giroche se ne doi de hiocher is een heer gezien wat jou dus raar. Shit hij een hakke van een hij doel borochi was er waar is raar.
Maar kan je iets naar de hanik het tuin reisje alle gelorig.
Wel han ik goed je wou vastje in een oude politiek. Vastje in een oude maar net als zie je kovat daar in de luchtjes karot kavi je me genoeg net torschen toch al bohak shorte gardig gaipen is mosun je machas na washne hehen was shech dag in vier tang wel shech luchtig in vier as a farse toch al woord een huiste gaan we nu waar je goed in je washne toch al tegen heen een hosho maar generator te semi ach geforscht noch meine washne mahadiges je jelle om de prinische steden as op tegen hak Hoe het guys en find the tegen.
Agus nan le clachan garige valle rang at the tegen.
Wel am krutchken aan tor hier wachen. Al roos e frequentation just. Am krutchi bakkelor wachen out.
Futs niet al dash bakken an echtri Chuil Uairich or ha echtri Chuil Uairich het al dash tornes had je na shonach.
O, ha ciad yn blion yma. Ha, mae stanig sy'n chofwr o'ch i tiwr. Och, wel, choffad ys sa'n yw gwrs, a chanel ys agam sy'n achel ys ag dyniol nach diet yn sadiad as na sioach. Ha mwys i'n coed yn gyda chiad dyni, a gyda tach chofwr o'ch gyda fer ian modus dan a Prag. Agus sé ian fi fwrwch i fi gala. Sy'n yn amfod. Ian fi fwrwch i fi gala. Agus sé alan efo sio sé fer gan y brihwn efo ne nis. Agus mwys siwr ias an ffo brihwn nis an i modus, ian modus dan efo sio. Agus sé god tach o'ch yn Uairich. Fa sy'n alys, ti'n mynd hilo 1660.
Nach rwy'n cwyd i gyda gydoch gyffyd yn dynia anamol yn clas ar dawl y fi a colwro?
Wel, wat y cymal ymwch gyffyd ag a di gyda'n tach gyda'n ag yn awm ag gyda'n un na hwa hanoch mae hwys mwyswna yn colwro. Gyda'n maad gyda'n ysyn eich aifre, chanel mwysyn i i'r cioed jo. Begin om te fijn om acht jaar te horen. Het kamal mag gefeet ja wie kan.
Maar zo'n je wat taken aan een kolore gereest, waar wel kolore gaan nu, was een koju 3 hiet gule blionen.
Va. Na smart is had je dat schon. Kali is ook.
Ha anamen naget er fagin jelle waun kujoch nachher.
Ha, ook me laume gaan het treden gaan aan een PSP wat gezegd je in muro. Chanel atawn gyda smad, da chyla, ti'n rochan i'n sanio gwyn, co yw fan un eisiau nawn, fa i'n modd ystan a Prag gyda fa sy'n, sy'n i'n aml o fa sy'n, fa i'n aml o ffag yna. Agus, fa ffag yna lan o sy'n, ti'n mynd och gyda ti agus, hichet na.
Canan y bi
1829, fa ffer awn Colin McKeever. Agus ma'n hel mi am y ddialog fan un sy'n cwtioch fa tach gyda gan y fath ysgyd. Chanel sy'n fwyl ysg tor mae un yn tach gyda sio awn. Ac se corca fi gan hynna'n fwyl yn hach. Agus fa, re colos farw i hynna hach a hen agus smaid cwtio gan y fwyl. Agus bwyn yn och gyda ac y corca fi gan sio yn y fath ysgyd. Agus se pachal sy'n achro och te hynna'n as ar o'n mwtir yn hach. Rifwrwch. Sy'n eich a'i eisiau gwrs yn ysgwys. Chan i'n ysmyn nach yla ciar. Agus yn eisiau fa, ffag yn ilan ffôn oes yn asde eisiau fa lwy fan girias fa wntras. Cacharit mi gyrwa glead.
Louis McKeever.
Louis McKeever. Fan yn girias. Agus asde eisiau fa fer Roderick Nicholson. Chwod i Nicholson. Agus asde eisiau yr eisiau fa fer James Rigg yn hynny. Ti'n mynd oedd 1815 o siw. Agus chapan gan lat sy'n mwyn i ge. Sa ti gra'r sy'n rysg i rwyd o chwol mi bia larish fan sa ti gra. Gyda'n nyn sy'n gynwyd a sgia hynny. Agus gyda'n o hwg am gar y chwaith at sy'n mynd cofwrwch ma'n ha niw. Sa awn has ma'n efo sa'i gyda. Agus a station yn oes yn fer Scoby, Mr Scoby. Chadil sam deflion yn y glasio. Ac sy'n a stay rig gyda. Agus se fer fa rod chalo hunter ma stech yn hack yr edige. Se aha chalo fer rod chal hun. Ani gasyn chimil 1898 1897. Agus arg na rod chalo hat bagan chimil 1989.
Nes colwr hwn ys hatjalaf ac yn iegare tach gyfan foriaf agus gyn gyd sy'n dyn yn talw. Ach, nach yla casht y gra gyda na fan y dyn i gol y dash yn talw ach gyhed o'r fat dyn yn chai gwrw mach ron ysyn achro.
Fat dyn yna, chanel ysyn mae yen colwr o'ch anwr o eisiau mae yen sy'n chanel ysyn gymsar o dyn i fat dyn i tach o colwr o'ch ma'n efo sy'n i graf o'n ciad yr blion. Ach yn ygyn fel ys y bryd sy'n efo atw sy'n i garag ydw sy'n eich anna dyn sy'n nyswyd o'ch o falaf sy'n chanel sam kofer gan y tŵa han eisiau rwy'n gymochat. Befys eich dynol yn siarn a chanel nhw'n cael o'ch o'n hwnnw. Ach hafys ac yma sioc o yw gan eich dynol sy'n efo yn garag ydw.
Gynnech y ffwyd o'ch gynnech tor ac yn o gondwsiwr. Ach mae ein dyn i fi yn hach, os da ni as da hach yn sy'n hal yn ywys gyro. Gyro dyn i ffwrdd o'ch gan yn hef, man i jyr. Gyro an a hach ffoi chian fan ys.
Sio siat yr eist yw, ffer y fel sy'n yn y sio, y gag yn y dyn.
Sy'n dyr o'ch sio siat yw mewn balik. Sy'n ysyd o'ch an a hesw has, styn a sy'n ymlion o. Ach sy'n past gan a sy'n dyr o'ch sio cymig o fod tŵ mwy balwn hech. Agus na di hiw hen, na di hiw yn smynnig dy hen sio sio ach y cwni i fec na dyn sy'n ymwni ha gwydio'ch chele. Yes geld en yes fijn geld in van de realtors gewat daarin. Kruist je pen voor je. Schat door dat kaal beter hij moet ik niet doen, want dan je toch. Laat de yes in koaches nog wat voor wij zes en tussen. Ja, dan.
Dus breeding daar, dat is ook een plein. Feki, die hier het geen haget in de geloorog.
Ik weet het niet, ik dan waarom ik niet blijven zijn tot de geen maar zo nou.
Drie nieuwe aarde, nog maar. Zag en ik weet het echt. Tot je nou. Tot je nou zo. Die nu is je feki na dan ik zo geloorog.
Nee, blijven.
Stie geen haken weer.
Geen schut dat tegen een hak geleerd wat. Anders zou ik niet hele. Je dus zeg als een ander thuis gaan hele. Dat paar hoort je zo'n schöner beelden. Hij is schöner tot de vallen. En we zei, en ook al is hij die thuis, schön in de raken. Gaan een hak. Heb maar zo'n gaan en snel voor elkaar en nog balletje. Dus moedig. Geloof je? Schimmeladen man hoe dat dan. Dus ga je moedig wordt geest moedig hoe dat talan goed dan afrijden. Ja, nu dat ik de gummige had het man thuis naar voren worden. Zij hele woorden mag naast de jaar. Ik ken daar dus nog hen. Ga je kan niet zo'n persoon hij, dan is ik mooi.
Dus tegen hakken reisje maar rijden te malen. Wat kan je nou met harket naar lochtig in zo'n?
Harket maar wanneer het ene geld te geven van gaat verren dat ik dat als een hokker. Dus gaat doen dat. Dus dan ga je het kunnen lossen smeunig gaat de grootje gaat een haak. Dus kun je halve rijden. Dan je kan niet krijgen als een hokker. Dus gaan je helemaal nog dan nat. Dus een tokalas. We de hele dingen vies zijn gaan jaren. Dus een talafje was lochtig was mooi. Toen we alle harwat gemoeders nu in beste show. We zijn nu dat de mensen piest hadden aan een bruine zo. Maar nu zo piest torel. Zo de koppen in Washington fancy kindje Michel. Maar ik leer dat je Michel. De Michel wel toch al fancy. Goede plionen wat had de schalter in fancy. Galan laat en zo.
Wat kan je nou een tuinje gaan? Ik dat koor een karakter zo van staan maar zo.
Oh, waar schöner, hoe je een schön hier. Had we ook weer. Zit hier dat je aan de kant komt bij hier. Station, hoors gaat zien, bukkenspuk. Voor kort tegen de motor naar wel.
En dan heb ik vergeten, kan je gaan ik.
Hier tegen de haan, ik doe kan je pap. Had schöner. Hij is dood, hij was de man wat je dood mag nemen. Hij is maar had een schreeuw. Agus cynnych dónloch.
Cynnych Thomas. Dyn is net koen na dyn la cain agad bhawn ac yn anam, mae hen ar hyn dyn mor swn achro.
Fa'n gep tarabat stwart, gefn hwn hwtrin. Agus pwysant, halik yn hieri. Agus dadys. Agus kolofban. Agus had kolofan ysyn. Agus First had Pater school station kunnen nou. Oh, ja, ik ben aan het bekijken hoe jas. Ja, ik ben aan het bekijken als ik nummer 9.
Er is een Washington omach. Toen de gester,
dul gester pat múid.
So son trajar.
Locht at dul gester agus brús le méid le se choki. Sa iawn haast a chadiach tógal o chydiofi gan war. Agus gaha.
Yn trajar yn warsen.
Art ba hil. Agus calam moli. Agus ulam cymin.
Ranka.
Agus ranka.
Dol piw.
Dol piw. Agus ysdal.
Tal. Bíloch.
Agus bíloch. Agus
Talia.
Talia. Agus bóhan. Agus Johnny Toss. Agus gitian dinan.
Fashin doorsen til stech gelocht rechain nach ro. Agus
Kom sen sjunne. Ba 26 klokt det.
Agus noorsen locht roch keila nach ro. Keila fisar.
Konke van hier.
Agus noorsen locht gon.
Dol gon 27.
De gaine.
Wat garrig we doen, men is wat een gestegen zijn kudjo.
De gaine ha ik naam ha zijn deun je tok al ten zo te maar.
Den du wat het ook al.
Stik de wat klechke zo'n ten hokker.
Klachans in samste kria nam kuskeri. Is tu gobber. Is niet hier tegen de man verloren.
Dus hebben we het robu kupeen. Vrienden.
Oké, ja, ik heb hockey. Ben ik hockey. En een shirt koelder hier.
Vrienden, dat gaan niet meer kwijt in de raast. De toos is niet. Dus naar robu welke matiken.
Een koelder hier heb ik niet als een rogadich voor je. Dat buwe kijk, zo'n hockey. Ze ben.
De waantje.
Agus. Als je kornetje koetje. Arans. Superns groceries mevrouw. Is dat buwe kille als een huis. Ik kan het toe. Als er ook doen kan je pot ze ben. Waschen. Dat was er een hinterjoks Arabs. En kennen hoe.
Is nog eens een uil woorden en dan ik zo gerug al oorlog.
Er wordt hard heel lekker. Er is niet echt uitgerold. We zijn een nachtje gaan heen. Ik kan aan het zien nou. Dat is een duo. Maar mijn vuur baas op het pleel nog een zwaar. Maar het ik een cheers naar neentje. Ik was tolletje gaan nachtje gaan peel. Maar is me.
Han ik jarig of moor kolorig van de oorzen.
Wat han ik jaren? Han. Dus wat ken je? Geon, zo'n schaduwke maar oorlog. Agus kosteene puur borochi, zie het weepie maar een oorlog.
Ha keine kan je kunnen gaan we prinri allegina ranken sikin om een weirische se locht ek 3 miljoen geuse se schena dat je no as gantari ris in een hui.
Wel gaan je torte gaan je kom zijn in tegen. Ach wat moet je de wielichters worden voor toch gewoon die kun je. Kun je komen schaam. Als wat het ook al in hij. Ik zou het met Stuart gaan maar dat voor toch kon daarin heen. Zijn aan ik gaan gaan hij als we heen toch al hij. Ik zou niet willen ook kennen. Ik ga een kalf af aan de show waar ze geregeld. En een kalf worden. Ik is misschien wel boos dat ze geregeld zijn nu. Eerst we heen eerst komen wat is.
Nu dan dat is in het tegen kalf was zo. Har wat gesnok maar is een wat torri en een ruw nog.
Hallo, ze zo gewoon zo. Ik is een hij die het van een ik nummer voor. Ze wou dat met twee wonen. Is van hij zo rood kan je pas je wou twee kan hij zo wat te vuur. Dus wat Jotus zeg kon aan twee gaan en hele. Dat aan de roe experiment ik kerstman dat wat building zoals geleerd zijn. Dus wat daar is bekend tussen tot 3 kwartier gewoon helasten en dat is voor te goed helasten tegen me kort maar
Sanne se bhaach fiú a bheith muid ar gúil halasta é furoch na ik het gan bhile nach.
Kapaan, dus sen var det frukosten en höj vånja man gjort att här så då vånja kan ha att var det frukosten var alltså var det tog en höschen nu har man ju han gäller samma sen höjle var det frukosten var har klev och var par stack kapotten var den hin var hade slik kunna kan ha skilt för någon sliken mode kmachde med de många jag har mal för var 3 rum och naho. Ja. 3 rum och naho just Cairn och Càirn Chuil Uairich.
Wel cain agad na the bhd réide an thaach ar sos cúra go bheit alad orta bheith.
Chanin se han rosin a mé ágil sa tro ceola go mena gan sin itir.
Bhí a grá na céisiche nach go déis san falla an na frís.
Ó, var sin clointin sin a san Australian live na de gas sin suas or sin clointin rutan sin. Va dúla san go gan frís an man feigat an harte.
Stank tú hé Lord Lieber Maria.
Gitara. Hon ik móli am krutch.
Ma hon ik tala sa hatna.
Anna.
Lé var sin.
Kishin Lord Lieber.
Barochi, de chain agad na a hánig dúine iad a go rum.
Like 30 years ago, and I hadn't seen no after 1927. Yeah, year ago. By an moon, say here, Agus light in Rahe, Harwafata. Agus sooner so I'm we as a park girl. Stay and show Calananti singing Salgat Buck. Then Wow, san ik toen wel buiten gereisd, san ik zin niet aan. Als je het zien maar gewoon, dan je mag niet. En ik toen Scott Amerika, zoals je toch al dat je de loft van een vloeken, vragen. Dus ook een hij nu was zo aan. En dus maar dan als je het zien aan, door de zwaan door.
Wat doen je niet dat rum wat je na te getan?
Oh, gelukkig moet je roeien. Het is wel Het is wel En dan zit maar wat te kopen goed zo. Maar gewoon loftig gedacht. Gewoon te veel loftig gedaan. Ach, pies van noorken, maar dan kan per nacht. Het is jo, het is steg, maar ik heb wat ik wil. Maar ik heb het gemaakt, kan een half maken, een wachtensket. Nou ja, te bij. Sen maar wat te kopen. Gewoon krapte slo aan. Noor. Ja, dan gaat het op de hokken uit heen naar hoogkan. Nee.
Gaan we tik schuurtje ook nog een tuigje is vast gedaan in je neus aan de schoen.
Waar tuigje neus. Er was ik raak. Er was koppen dat ik raak. Want hij kan een zijn neus, we zoeken het aan in je neus. Waar ik toen heen, waar ik jou naar. Zie waar ik maar toch zeggen dat het rugje daar.
Sko shona hanik na tuine hanik iad a gorum awn ac yn awn fashion. Rwydach chi yn eich rachga?
Och, haro, wat ik een haak, fegin je koppen de haak. Agus wat of een pees voor ver nacht. Jo, zo'n hot is zeg. Peesen. Goed ik aan noosen. Goed ik aan noosen van wat de kaartje genullen.
Ach, nu da hanik shoes awn geta.
Oh, dan is hij aan. Oh, wat man lacht ik in de route en kost toen eten. Voor toen eten. Zo verder hoeken. Mag genomen, we gaan toch aan de keer.
Agus, moet je kleintje uit de breed maar in een schoen lachen?
Oh, wie? Wie gaat de breed naar schoen? Wie? Maar dan haag het er goed terug. Hetzelfde een heel tegen je dat we mooi zit. Sommige dingen waren van alles te verrochten. Maar voor het super hadden we voor mooi alles zo zit. Waar verrochten, maar kaarten. Ze zijn alles aan noos. Ze zijn waar hij Het is waar herrogen verrochten, waar hij giepen. Ze zijn waar hij roten. Waar moet je de aanzien was zo. Siis mä huusin lohta varapata, kun ne lekkä varapata. Hukana.
Wel cain agos ar Lord Lieberhum?
Ha, cain agos ar hwnnw mi sa wyd na ga. Hwnnw. Sy'n i bag byd o'ch wa. Ar wa môr i gyn. Wel, lysad gwrs o a comoch. Di patr gyfang ma gan eich o a wyd i gyn. Patr gyfang.
Sure. Ca ti fan gyda sa?
O, hwnnw mi sa hir sio. Hwnnw mi sa hir sio. Hydw i gat y gobl ys y car. Hwnnw mi car ag y ford car. Ford o'r tywyr. Hwnnw.
Wel cain ag at narag yma jyfa dolag yn nawm?
O, ha. Rwy at garag yma. Sabad ac o'r at garag yma. Ach, siarwyd o fawn. Bychad o'ch yn galafa a sio. Fos i'ch mwydr o fal. Mwydr o fal stiorn o fal. Fos i'ch at y cwyd nwas yn ysg fan dyn i'ch ar o môr narag yn dawn lwyd o. So'r cwyd nwas gwtswch yn asgyn ang hwyd gyda falafa. Agus chanau coiw sy'n rhaid ydy chan hwyed. Chadau complet. Scalafa. Fa pag yn iac i brisig chwb cael os ag rhaid na os ag ar y swydd.
Hi is an y sioc yda, fel cain ag at y rhain at y reid ar tach y chwl?
O ha, cain am sydd fat o reid ag isio. Sgrias cwm ba. At yn ban harama gynnau. Naramas gei. Gaat er een stijl. Gaat er een mijl. Wacht je net het kalma heen. De hoe dat in hens. Wacht je dat kalma heen. Wat geen harama han ik graag iets. Zoals je teen. Hoe ze moet komen.
Agus wat de kraker o cwtch gan dyn sy'n jes son ôl gan y ffris on?
Ba, hoe dat groot visje toe dan nacht bewust. Cael y pris o'r nagw as yn chwrdd. As yn chymys.
Cofyd grasyn?
Ba, et sy'n rŵ, rysyn ar am.
Ys cwn y dyn i byfwn fa sas an y sio?
De?
Cwn y dyn i byfwn fa sas?
O, fa, tord...
An yn colwar o ham i cilo?
An yn colwar o. Fa, chwr, chwmplin i hwyr loft. Chwmplin i hwyr, fa ffygyn iawn hwyr blank tickets. Fa ffortir i mae e.
Sy'n ach cysgel?
Wel, ffim y ffalaf, yn unig sy'n dog am yn cyrich ac
once-in-a-lifetime occasion. 75 years ago, it was the end of the First World War. Men were promised a land fit for heroes. The reality was, when they came home, there were no homes, no land for their families. So they claimed the land, knowing that the threat of imprisonment was there in front of them. It may very well have been carried out. It wasn't. They called the bluff of the people on whose behalf they fought during the First World War. They came, they divided the land and created the village of Upper Coll as we know it. If they hadn't done what they did, none of us would have the homes we do have. None of us would have the ties with Upper Coll we have. Many of the younger generation have no idea of the history of the village. Those of us involved in the building of the cairn hope that will no longer be the case. It will be a permanent reminder that life wasn't always what it is today, and that at times people have to stand up for what they think is just and be prepared to accept the consequences. That is what our forefathers did, and we owe them a great debt. We also owe a great debt to everyone who has contributed to the erection of this cairn, especially to 3 businesses based in the village who said they would pay for all costs over and above what we collected. That has made life much easier, but in thanking everyone who has contributed, I wish to make special mention of these: Donald Campbell, John McKeever and Son, and Angus MacDonald. I would also like to thank our builder, a young man from Stornoway, James Wood. It is good to see that old crafts are still in young hands. We welcome everyone here today. Those of you who have fond memories of Upper Coll but live elsewhere. Those of you who have joined us in Upper Coll. Those of you whom we see every day. And a special welcome to the young people. When you are old, we hope you will remember this day. When your children ask you about the cairn, we hope you can tell them it is to remember those who came with no invitation, but came to stay and created for us the village we know and love. I have spoken in the language of the landlord. Our short ceremony, however, will be in the language of those whom we remember here today. And as your programme indicates, first of all, we will ask John MacDonald, number 24, to lead us in a prayer of dedication. We will ask Peggy Morrison, number 1, to unveil the plaque. Peggy, as you all know, is the only person still living in the house to which she came in Upper Coll over 70 years ago. And Mr. Murdo MacDonald from number 3 will give us 1 or 2 thoughts on the day, and we will end our short ceremony with Murdo MacDonald, number 20, leading us in praise. After that, I would like you all not to go away, because we have 1 or 2 special photos we want to take. So, in the meantime, however, we shall commence our short ceremony.
Agus a gain go van de hier met chien aan de malle kan ik hier is sonne kregen bij je oh de nostra naso aan boord en kan je een show maar keine de boog ben je waar hosch de hij male show hier goed toes agus gonje shinje we keine nog kan je nog een keer hier naar de boog het chinganjons is in mijn kono shinje de kollegas met de laag bij de shinje gewoon kijken agus neptar gai mór höfru so þökku fas og gattu mavro agus gini khaini hatin hier og hier hug Ecce muller bí agus ben a láin agus cumas cmósa. Tá féim sin ule count a habag a vis a cuat an a seo secha. Mar chan lacin is seo ballavades. Ach is sú lacin í balla de vel bunatje. Ar mar tían gala agus gar poca. Agus gan an seo de rún is ches is suyoch. Son dit good tip dol chunja berain. As je hart voor gaan naast gaan a seo. An láis in a cín se gane. Gan an it móch is in innes sin a háisi. Is séor yo gan a kenhaul na trio. Gan an a seo gé me sin in uloche. Bhí a gana bhór, is gan vi tí chain noch. Suhad na charún. Agus go me sin mar sonna cunna mana gin as in an chuspa. A colmas a chud gar lé. As je goeie grote viano en gosh dachi as a valley. Zat de maandag in hier, dan zat ik maar hier is in Eindtown gekeerd door de show. Agus ik met nach uit de dash te laan, als we hier nog aan de show. Janik ga gaan en bakken je kruin aan de show nu. En dat je veel met je nog harde van moes hier. Na vaak een hinsje, kraag nu loon, is je worden grieus daarmee.
Which means walking by these stones. 30 at 3 in the leven, a drug je glaad, en een muil is aan de garden. Zeg maar een koud koestietje, kreeg is in de vrienden zo. En zijn hechte salam, had is een driegje. Er is tikkie de halal zo. God bless and pity us. Shine on us with thy face, that the earth thy way, and nations all, may know thy saving grace. God bless you all.
Wel, ha laaf hoor aan de jongens, het moet daar kamers play aan, dan hebben we nog eens gefamie gaat in gaan reactie, maar zal als je cheers gaan de school. Als ik hier daar, heb ik het vaartje de goed dingen kunnen gaan niet. Moet ik gaan de ballen zo zijn kort, moet je ze wel eens daar toch gaan de maken ze wel. Ik is gezorgd dat gewoon wakker zo. Ik heb ik gaan niet doen nog eens toen heen. En waar je, heb ik vrienden de rest als ik eigenlijk, ik een hartje en rakje. Ik zeg hem hier, dan had ik zien gewoon worden. Op jou wakker. Ik wil maar, ik kan je met de achterlo had ik eigenlijk aan een kachieldrische route ha never dat kan ook een koner heel lang zo. Ik is maar een hoorn ik kan je. Ik zeg torak in goed smoog in mijn heb schworen aan je narretje. Als zo'n gevaar gaat dag in jij pijn, ga je jou ten gij. Ik dat is goed hokken. Na dag ja kas nie ga. En je daar kor bij je zijn wel wat. Toen alles dan zo gezet alle vrienden moeten dat het chees kan skool. Gezet alle vrienden. Gezet kom in kordes kool van daar moet je maar op draaien. Kan je faction schon mal ha. Ik zeg je nog eens kort wat te gaan de stoel wel te zijn. Bij je ballen aan de show is. Hij moet je kan te rekenen hoe in soorten naar Rokali is. Man bezek garo hora o por aí ya no agora
harische Tag was schon. Das hat fein Tag in Geif gehen. Ich kann gut auf hatte bei jedes kann ich gar kosten hier schon an und nicht. Ich sag keiner das an Ball auf Bank. Schön je fährt und schön. Schön die keiner hat man schon was ich. Der war da go la von ich. Ich sag keiner gemacht das Ton Borochi. Schön hat du kein Ball schön. Also ich mache den Brief bei jedem. Ich wo dat kunnen woorden schön gut. Ich schön hier voor ja die maar voor nu is mij afgerond van de gauw. Als ze geen guzen huren. Ergens moet schon schön in de is kan ook schon een show nu. Groot daar krieg. Keine gaan naar de zonne tuintje dat je buiten op is met de zussen de hebben zo'n gemeen goed dat je een show nu maar dit heb ik niet in de show nu. Ergens hebben ze om zo treintje dat heb ik keer gewoon goed dat je gevaar schon hard maar zo de zussen nu aan de show. Ergens gehaald met tuintje was zo voor je aan hem geworden. Ergens ja maar zo is gar niet aan de show. Ergens Cairn zo is gar niet aan de show. Dus hij moest nog eens bij 100 jaar je achterhaald je gewoon kun je niet dat toch gewoon niet zo moeilijk zo. Maak eens een dus ga je ging je blue heel daar. Als er nog bestaan hier kan ik het drie hier. Wat een grote jaren. Wat volgen je nog kijken? Het sprake is er. Kort gaat daar naar ik, dan klein je groeien heet. Een visje kanaal die zeg. Een slauwde takken vrij. Wanneer je gaat alleen aan je, niet in vallen. En hier kun je het nooit, naar hier en hier gaat het zo. Dan hoor je precies kan liggen. Terecht is wat is kort. Wat volgen je op kijken? Yeah.
turned round so that we get a photo of everyone.
A wee while, because when we started this part of the proceedings, I might be asking Donald Stewart to come and give us a few thoughts on the history of Upper Coll, on this, what is, for us in Upper Coll anyway, a historic jail. Donald Stewart.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I am indebted to Ollie when he was speaking up at the Cairn just a short time ago. I won't say anything he said, because Donald Stewart was in an awful lot, many things that he didn't know about it. Thanks very much, Ollie. A couple of days ago, when I was speaking to one of my many relatives from Upper Coll Township, she said, "I see you're going to make a speech on Saturday." And I said, "Oh no, I'm not going to make a speech, but whatever comes into my head at the time about the history of Upper Coll, I will certainly relate it." "That won't take very long," she said. "Thanks very much, and inspired confidence in me." However, one of the stories that she did say about people taking too long in speaking is when she recounted a time when, just after the war, and they were at the Lewis and Harris gathering, and there was a certain gentleman there, and I think there's an awful lot to the story itself, because on one side it says one type of Lewisman, very self-important officials, and then after the war, Glasgow, where the Lewis and Harris gathering was, would be full of Lewis sailors at the time. And the occasion for Lewis and Harris annual gathering, when Angus MacLeod from Scalpay had just won the gold medal, and this certain gentleman started addressing the crowd. His theme would probably be the usual one on what's wrong with Lewis and how it should be put right. Notice that it's not how it should be put right now, not how I would put it right. And after he had been speaking for about 20 minutes or so, he certainly made some joke or other, and the people started to clap. It only encouraged him to keep on talking longer. So if I hear any clapping, I know when to stop. One person, however, in the audience was a wee bit more perceptive than many others, and he realised that once the person opened his mouth and he started clapping, everyone else would join in. So the poor gentleman, every time he started to address the audience, all he got was a ring of clapping. He soon got the message and sat down. So if I hear any clapping at all, I'm going to stop. On the history of Upper Coll, and it certainly got as much history, I'm sure, as any other village in Lewis has, one always tries to get a start as to where one would start in the history of Upper Coll. And children are always very good at supplying answers. And when I went down to one of the classrooms and asked one of the children down there, "Dare to say something for Laura, what's the oldest thing in Upper Coll?" And he thought for a minute and he said, "Ham-Oli." So I'm sure I could very well spend about 15 minutes on the history of Bowley, but I'm sure that Bowley himself will be saying something later on anyway. The history of Upper Coll, and there is the recent history that we were celebrating today, but I think if when one looked into it, one would find a much older history, going back not hundreds of years, but thousands of years. And I think if anyone came to Upper Coll and asked you, what's the oldest place in Upper Coll, you wouldn't be far off the mark if you directed that person to the Cairn that lies about half a mile west of Garriguru. And the Cairn might only look like a pile of stones that have fallen down. But if you sit amongst these stones on a nice summer's evening and look around, it soon becomes apparent that it's not a pile of stones at all. And that in the middle of that pile of stones there is a chamber, and leading to the chamber is a nice passageway. And if you ask yourself, what on earth was this used for, you might come up with quite a few answers, but the answer we are led to believe is that this was a burial chamber. It is a burial chamber that is quite common throughout the length and breadth of Lewis. Certainly this one has been destroyed up to a point, and one wonders where enough the stones went to. I don't know. But when you think of it, that these people about 3,000–4,000 years ago went to the trouble of building this cairn as a burial chamber for their own people, one can only marvel at the effort that they made in getting all these stones, because there were no horses at that time, and there was no commandant with a digger. They had to pull them from somewhere. And in their own way, they had a kind of religion, because they realized that unlike the animals, their own people were something special. And they probably had some soul, but where the soul went to, one can only speculate. So I would say that that's about the only oldest historical place in Upper Coll. And if you went to our places, I was in Jersey about 3–4 years ago, they had the remains of one of these chamber cairns in a much more dilapidated state than the Upper Coll one, and yet it was a site of antiquity, and they were selling it as one of the more interesting historical antiquities of Jersey. We are very fortunate in having that cairn, and I'm sure at some time that something will be done and written about it. And if you look up from the cairn itself, I am sure that towards the north that you will see another stone there. And that stone, can you hear me now? Probably better that you don't. I'll get it. How's that for sound? Okay. And if you look up from the cairn towards the north, you should find another stone there called Latha-fosglaidh. And there was tradition in Upper Coll, I'm sure as in many other villages, when you see these standing stones by themselves, that it was a stone that they erected for the cattle to scratch themselves on. And of course, when you come to think of it, who on earth would have erected a stone like that, just for the sake of cattle to scratch themselves on it? I think it is far more meaningful than that, and I also think that the direction from the cairn itself is of some significance. I remember speaking to Latha-fosglaidh, who is present here today, about a similar cairn that they'd got down in back on the crest side of the river, and sure enough they've also got a clachman down there. Nobody has really investigated the position of these clachman in relation to the cairn, but I'm sure that it is of some importance. So these people about 3–4,000 years ago living in Chuil Uairich, where on earth would they have lived? Would they have lived beside the chamber cairn, or would they have lived elsewhere? And I think it's more than probable that these people, like many other people in the Isle of Lewis at the time, would have taken up a coastal site, and Upper Coll would have provided an ideal coastal site. I don't know exactly where they did live, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that the village site that is covered about 50 yards to the east of the cairn that was unveiled today might well give us a clue as to where the people were. The coastline at that time, of course, would be much further out at sea, probably about half a mile at least, and these people would have a reasonable, defensible position, and they would probably have lived there or near to the place. What they ate, again, we can find out quite easily from the ochre or middens beside these homes. And it's amazing the amount of shellfish, mussels, limpets, and in particular oysters that you find at these sites. And the Upper Coll site has as many oysters as any other site in Lewis. That gives a clue, I think, to the kind of climate that they had. It certainly wouldn't have been the climate that we're used to nowadays. So these people then would have lived for hundreds of years in Upper Coll and also in neighbouring places until probably round about the 2,000 years ago changes would have occurred. Because coming from the Stone Age they'd have passed through the Bronze Age and I'm sure the Iron Age also. And many of these sites are still visible in Lewis. I know a crofter in Lewis who was digging in Coll, who was digging his croft about 6-7 years ago, and he came upon a perfect Iron Age site, still with the smelter. He kept his mouth shut about it and covered it with earth as soon as possible. Otherwise the archaeologists would have taken half his croft away. Round about 2,000 years ago, these people would have had visitors at Upper Coll, and the people would have come on the motorway at that time, and the motorway did exist at that time, and the motorway was the sea, because it would be much easier to go from here to Ireland than it would be from here across to Inverness to trek along the mountains. So our Upper Coll people would certainly have been visited by people from Ireland, and these would be the first Gaels, Gaelic speakers, to have come to Lewis. There's been much speculation as to the language they spoke prior to this. One cannot say with any degree of certainty what it was, but certainly the first remnants of Gaeldom would be coming to Upper Coll shortly after the time of Christ. Later on, of course, more and more people would come, but this time from Iona itself, and the Columban missionaries would have come to Upper Coll, Gress. In Donald MacDonald's book, he talks about a Celtic chapel at Carrigurun. He should have said Carry itself down north of Polster. There are no Celtic chapels at Carrigurun. But these people like St. Moluig and Mulriva and all these Celtic saints would probably have passed through Upper Coll. The main centre of religion at the time would have been at Gress. And at Gress we've got a well-preserved Celtic chapel running, as one finds, east-west, same direction as the graves in Gress, that you will notice even to this day when people are buried facing the sun. And that is the tradition of it. McMaster, the minister in Gress, you will have noticed his layer down there. The two graves are north-south. He was the only person who ever, as far as I know, buried people north-south. The rest has went back to the tradition of east-west. And St. Olaf's Chapel, near Valwai, down in Gress, is east-west. I am pretty certain that it wasn't dedicated initially to St. Olaf, who was Scandinavian, and that it must have had a name, a Celtic name, prior to the change by the Vikings. What it was, I don't know. But you've got these Gaelic-speaking people in Upper Coll, and I'm sure that they would have become Gaelic-speaking at that time. When one day, in the 800s, they probably looked out to sea. and they saw this strange boat coming towards them up Rugby. Whether they had curiosity in their heart or fear, I don't know. This boat did come up Rugby, and it would have landed at Fall Shore. And as the people went out to greet them, they certainly did not get best of reception. This was the first wave of Vikings to come from Norway and Denmark to Lewis, and they treated the people with contempt. They enslaved them and gave them names that we can find out in books that were written at the time about Orkney. The names that they gave them were names like Gilbert, Gormity, and other horrible names. And I think the names tell a lot about the way that they treated the people itself. They would have been slaves, and many of them would have been bound and left on the sands at Upper Coll, probably either to perish or with the tide coming in. The Vikings must have liked Upper Coll because they settled there. And as is common with that period, there's hardly anything left about their house sites. Very, very little. Although probably the Dube itself is a remnant of Viking architecture, the longhouse. Very similar to what they had in Norway at this time, and erected to withstand any gales or anything that might hit them. But if they didn't leave any architecture in terms of building, they certainly left a legacy in terms of needs. And you've got Coll, Brunish, Eikustolenico, Tarshander, Briaskletch, just about every single name in Upper Coll, except Garfar, and I can't make heads or tails of it. It sounds Gaelic. It might have some significance more than we think it is. But even down to the smallest patch of land, the Vikings had a name for it. And there's a bit just above Bulbrath in Coll. Not very big. I think it was Borogig Oyanma, and he's not with us today, is he? We gave him the name for that one, Taraki. And that's a Viking name too. So they certainly left a legacy of names. And it would be interesting to interpret all of these names in Upper Coll, and in the district. The Vikings were with us until 1993, because the Vikings never left the island. A lot of people say, where did they go to? They didn't go anywhere, they stayed with us. Because if they had gone back to Norway, and they wouldn't have gone back to Norway, they'd been there for about 400 years anyway, the names would have gone with them. And the people who are eating at the tables here, or who will be eating today here, are the descendants of those Vikings. And the ties with Norway were so strong, up until about 1390, the moderator, as it were, of the church was the Archbishop of Trondheim in Norway. People of Lewis were still tied to the church in Norway. The Vikings came, the Vikings did not go, but in their turn rose up the main family of Lewis, the MacLeods, Honeyclodge. They were certainly of Viking stock, and the Morrisons and the Macaulays. There's a question over the Nicholsons, who were one of the oldest families in Lewis also. But when the MacLeods came into power, you can be pretty certain that Upper Coll farm was occupied by one of the sects of the MacLeods. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if the family who were in Coll farm were the MacLeods de Barnty. Because as far as I know, there are 3 strong, important sects of MacLeods, beyond the chiefs of the MacLeod, the Barantich, the Talamich, agus the Uairich. And the Barantich were certainly in strength in the Coll area. I'm sorry to hear that Neil, who is the last male member of the Barantich in Coll, is in hospital at the present time. And I hope that he will be back amongst us in short. But as I said, it wouldn't surprise me about these MacLeods, the Barantich, that they wouldn't be in Upper Coll. Now the time is passing, so I'll have to speed up a wee bit. After the MacLeods, the last chief of the MacLeods was old Roderick MacLeod. He was I don't know how to describe him. He lived till he was 95. He was married 3 times. And he was in dispute with the other gang on the other side of the bench, the Mackenzies. And when old Roderick died, the Mackenzies, one way or another, came into ownership, let's see, of Lewis. They bought part of it from the 5 adventurers. The Mackenzies, the Seaforths, came into Lewis, and the first thing they did was to throw out all the MacLeods. And any MacLeod who was in Upper Coll was thrown out and installed by somebody who would support themselves. And the person who went into Upper Coll farm in the early 1600s was a Morrison. John Morrison, who later went to Bradford, was quite a well-known Lewisman at the time, educated, could read and write, and he wrote a history of Lewis, but he certainly didn't get on with the people from Coll, because the people from Coll and the people from Upper Coll, the people at Upper Coll would be the Coll farm people at the time. They were always in dispute with boundaries. And John Morrison left a number of verses outlining the boundary between Coll and Upper Coll. And I think that the dispute came to a head, and eventually the Coll people told him, if you're not cleared out of this land by midnight on a certain day, and across Avignon-Clydich, the Torrich will be taken from your cattle. He did not wait to argue with them. He quickly left and went to Bradford. But his people stayed in Upper Coll, and they were certainly in Upper Coll until 1726, and there was a sole occupant of Upper Coll, Murdo Morrison. There's a whole lot of things in Upper Coll that I cannot answer, and they may have dated from this period or even earlier. Things like an Alley-glass. An Alley-glass is not a seasonal shilling. And if you go to Glenfalloch there, it is a wonderful work of man. Because Glenfalloch, nearly every inch of it is tilled right out into the moor, and the remains of these cattle are still there. Who lived in Teihaja there? Again, was that some stronghold or other in Upper Coll? I don't know. I once heard an interesting story from Kenny Tweed, who should have been with us here today. And Kenny was talking about some family in Teihaja with very strong, powerful sons. And they went a raiding or lifting cattle to Agnish. They seemed to be at loggerheads with the Ross even in those days. And the idea was that they lifted the cattle, but then they walked backwards to the boat over in Agnish, so that the rowers would think that they had come ashore without realising they had taken their cattle with them. These are merely little stories that he got from Kinnachandrua at 59 Coll. But once you put all the little stories together, you get a nice history and an insight into Upper Coll. The Morrisons, as I was saying, were there till the early 1700s, and then you had the next wave of people coming to Upper Coll farm, the McKeevers. And there's also a tradition in the McKeevers of Coll that they came from Uig. And certainly the McKeevers of Upper Coll, Uia Mackenny Frankie, came from Cairn. His father, Kenneth Franco, was one of the most notable people in Lewis at the time. He was called Kenneth Franco because he had supported Seaforth, who had risen in 1715. for the king, for the stewards at the time. Seaforth certainly fought at Sheriff Muir, and I'm sure the people from Upper Coll would have fought and perished at Sheriff Muir on that disastrous day. They were on the losing side, of course, and Cairn had to beat a hasty retreat with Seaforth to France. And that is why Master Penny, is called Cairn to this day. After William McFenny came to Upper Coll, he farmed there, and of course we now come to the clearances, one of the reasons that we're here today. The people were certainly cleared around about 1797-98 from Carrigaroon. Their names we know. Some of the people are sitting at the tables here today. They were cleared from Carrigaroon under pretext of not paying the rent. That was the usual thing. And the rent in those days, it might only be £2 or £3, but you're measuring it in hundreds and hundreds of pounds nowadays. So Carrigaroon was certainly cleared at that time, and the people were chased off the land, either down to Coll, some went to Cairn, and some went to Grace. Shorashkoyan, who's with us here, knows well, because his own great, probably about 5 of them, Shoras, who is also related to me on my mother's side, who had come from Walsingham after the 7 Years' War. He was cleared from there. Other ones, their own names are only down as Murdo Glass, or Donald McChristie. Donald Gaithrias, they were Glass, because surnames were not common at that time. After William came his son, probably the best remembered of all the tacksmen at Upper Coll, Càirn Chuil. And Càirn Chuil wasn't a tacksman, or these people, they weren't tacksmen as we know about them, or farmers. They probably spent very little time on the farm or ploughing. They had a town in Stornoway, and they were entrepreneurs who had ships, traders, curers, and it's the most natural thing on earth that if Càirn Chuil had these ships, that the crewmen would be made up of people from Coll. And these people from Coll would not have been restricted within the confines of their own village. These people could have talked quite well about the Baltic ports, and about Ireland, and about Spain, where they had gone with their fish and picked up cargoes of timber or picked up cargoes of salt. They weren't people who were merely restricted to walking up and down within the confines of their own village. They were educated people. If by education you mean knowing something out with your own community. Càirn Chuil had a town in Stornoway, as I said, as indeed did the two neighbouring farms at Grace, where you had Louis McKeever, before he banned her. Càirn Chuil was married to Louis McKeever's sister, daughter of Evander, and his older brother Kenneth McKeever was married to one of McKeever's of Colster. So between them, really, the same people, they owned the 3 farms, the Upper Coll, Grace, and that. Right, okay. We'll very quickly go over, you know, the remainder of the history. And the last thing I want to do is to keep you waiting. And we'll quickly come to the reason, or one of the reasons why we're here today. And there is a small book which you should have looked at sometime. It's called Uairich by Colin MacDonald. And I think that Colin, in his own way, sums up what is behind the reading far better than I can. And I'll read one or two things from Colin's book. It talks about the famous meeting when Latha-fosglaidh came down to Grace. And Latha-fosglaidh starts with, "Good morning, everybody. Have you noticed that the sun is shining this morning? And that this is the first time it has shone on Lewis for 10 days. Remember, he was addressing readers from back forth. I regard that as a good omen. This is going to be a great meeting. This is going to be a friendly meeting. The meeting will mark the beginning of a new era in the history of the loyal island of Lewis that you love above all places on earth, and that I too have learned to love. So great is my regard for Lewis and his people that I am prepared to adventure a big sum of money for the development of the resources of the island of the fisheries. Do you realise that Stornoway is right in the centre of the richest fishing grounds in the world?" And then he goes on about all the things that he would do for Lewis, how he would have a supply of aeroplanes to look out for the shoals of herring, and how the observer in one of these planes would transmit the wireless message to Stornoway, and how the loudspeaker would tell where they were, and how the boats would go out empty and return full, and talks about some of the other words like large fish canning factory, electric power station, garden city, modern convenience, an earthly paradise, altogether a masterpiece. But when he was adding all these things to it, there was a dramatic interruption. One of the ringleaders managed to rouse himself from the spell because he was a very forceful speaker. And in an impassioned voice addressed the crowd in Gaelic, and this is what he said. "Sure, Uairich, had you sure grown, but I want not milfial sure, a fritchior, you will do galt, agus you will galt do. Kit en ein de brood aan het bejaagje, de hit met een chick, Jim Cairn has in theory, dus je hebt je point over, dat de game in jaren. This took Latha-fosglaidh aback, because he hadn't expected it. And the translation, when he asked his interpreter, "I'm sorry," he said, "it is my great misfortune that I do not understand the Gaelic language, but perhaps my interpreter will translate for me what has been said." Said the interpreter, "I am afraid, Lord Latha-fosglaidh, that it will be impossible for me to convey to you in English what has been so forcibly said in the older tongue. But I will do my best." And then he went on to translate, "Come, come then, this will not do. This honey-mouthed man would have us believe that black is white and white is black. We are not concerned with his fancy dreams that may or may not come true. What we want is the land, and the question I put to him now is, will you give us the land?" Latha-fosglaidh was taken aback by this. And his answer was, "You've asked me a straight question. I like a straight question. And I like a straight answer. And my answer to your question is no. I am not prepared to give you the land." And then he went on and then got the proctors to his side. But as Colin describes, it was like theatre, like a play. But the play was not yet over, and a clean-shaven Aztec, a Foster fisherman, cut in politely at a momentary pause in the artist's work. He spoke slowly in English, with a strong Lewis accent, and each word set square like a stone clock in a building, and he made a great speech. "Lord Latha-fosglaidh," he said, "will you allow me to intervene in this debate for a few moments?" And he got it. "Thank you. Well, I will begin by saying that we will give credit to your lordship for good intentions in this matter. We believe you think you are right, but we know that you are wrong. The fact is, there is an element of sentiment in the situation which it is impossible for your lordship to understand. For that we do not blame you. It is not your fault, but your misfortune that your upbringing, your experience, and your outlook are such that a proper understanding of the position and of our point of view is quite out with your comprehension. You have spoken of steady work and steady pay in tones of veneration, and I have no doubt that in your view and in the view of those unfortunate people who are compelled to live their lives in smoky towns, steady work and steady pay are very desirable things. But in Lewis, we have never been accustomed to either, and strange though it may seem to your lordship, we do greatly desire them. We attend to our crofts in seed time and harvest, and we follow the fishing in season. And when neither requires our attention, we are free to rest and contemplate. You have referred to our homes as hovels, but they are our houses as hovels, but they are our homes. And I will venture to say, my lord, that poor though these homes may be, you will find more real human happiness in them than you will find in your castles throughout the land. I would impress on you that we are not in opposition to your schemes of work. We only oppose you when you say you cannot give us the land, and on that point we will oppose you with all our strength. It may be that some of the younger and less thoughtful men will side with you, but believe me, the great majority are against you. Lord Leverhulme, you have bought this island, but you have not bought us, and refuse to be the bond slaves of any man. We want to live our lives in our own way, poor in material things it may be, but at least it will be clear of the fear of the factory bell. It will be free and independent. Ladies and gentlemen, as I say, the rest is history. It has certainly been an honour to talk to you. I know I have taken too long, and I hope that you will enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't suppose so many people from Upper Coll in one place have ever heard such a comprehensive history of Upper Coll as that. It may have been a bit longer. I'm sure it could have been could have been a bit longer still. But we thank Don Stewart for giving us that. But today isn't just about the past, it's about the present and the future as well. That's why it's so nice to have so many of our young people here today, and so many of our friends who have come to live in the village since that time. Now, over the next 20 minutes before we have our tea, I hope we're going to have some music. But before we come to the music, we thought it would be quite nice if we presented a token to Mrs. Peggy Morrison, who so graciously agreed to unveil the plaque for us today. And to do this, what we did was, we thought we would ask the newest members of our village to come and do that. And that's what I asked now Mrs. Jacqueline Marks, who have just recently come to the village, to do. And she said to me that not only will she do that, she will bring the very youngest person in the village to do it as well. And that's her own little daughter. And I would be grateful now if she could hand over a small token to Peggy on behalf of us all. We'll just hand it down to you. During the time we were working on the cairn, we had a very nice letter from Robert Morrison, and I hope you don't mind if I read a little bit of it here. As incomers, we were both very pleased to be invited to subscribe towards the cost of the cairn which is to be unveiled. We feel that we have particular cause for gratitude towards the men to be commemorated. Without their action, we would not now be living here, and from the time we arrived 11 years ago, we could not contemplate the thought of living anywhere else. We thought these were very nice sentiments, and we would hope that they would be the sentiments of anyone who ever comes to live in Upper Coll. Now, coming to the present, I don't suppose there has been an occasion on which we have all felt as proud ever as we did a few weeks ago when one of our own girls won the gold medal at the Mod. And it gives us particular pleasure today to welcome Margaret Stewart Harding to come and sing not only one of the songs that she won the gold medal with, but a song that she herself has specially composed for this occasion. Margaret. touch the heart of anybody who feels anything for Upper Coll. I'm sure you'll talk with you all when I say that. That was very well done. Now we're going to ask the village children to come up. We'll ask Margaret to stay with them because we feel they maybe need a little bit of assistance because they're going to sing us one or two songs. And if we can get any other lady volunteers who to come up with them, we'll be most grateful. I'm sure they will be too. Could I ask the children to come up to the stage and sing us their songs? They've been working very hard for the last week. Volunteering via Margaret Cahiori.